Hello, everyone. Before we get started, make sure to like and subscribe, and leave a comment saying where you're from and when you watched. That way, YouTube will continue to show you stories like this. Now, let's get started. Asterisk. As time passed, the village was immersed in constant fear. The story of the bride Anna and the ghost wedding became a ghost that covered every roof, every bumpy, stone-paved road. People no longer dared to hold large wedding parties because they believed that any wedding could accidentally awaken the soul of the forgotten bride. The haunting, chilling scares lasted for many generations, passed down from father to son, like a warning that should never be taken lightly. One winter evening, when the north wind howled outside the forest, a group of traders lost their way and were forced to ask for shelter in the village. They did not believe in the horror stories that the people told, and even laughed at the fear of the remote village. Seeing this, an old man advised, "Tonight is a full moon. Do not step out of the house, and do not go near the ancient temple." But curiosity led them to that taboo place. As the group stepped through the rotten wooden gate, a pale blue light suddenly flared up as if from hundreds of invisible candles. Inside the ancient temple, incense smoke drifted, and in the middle stood Anna in her old wedding dress, her eyes filled with tears, holding a wilted bouquet of flowers. She turned to look at the strangers, smiling sadly, her voice like the wind whistling through the crack in the door. "Have you seen my groom?" a merchant replied tremblingly, but immediately his shadow was sucked into the dark space behind. The bride. As the remaining group screamed and ran away, they saw the silhouettes of dozens of invisible guests sitting around the banquet table, raising their glasses to toast in silence. It was one of the ghost stories that made the villagers even more certain that Anna would never disappear. From that event, the villagers erected a series of talismans in front of their houses. They hung octagonal mirrors, hung mugwort branches to ward off evil spirits. But nothing seemed to be enough to stop Anna's presence. A village child recounted that every night he dreamed of being dressed in a white wedding dress, forced to walk along a path strewn with dried flower petals. At the end of the path, Anna stood waiting, her eyes as if wanting to devour his soul. When he woke up, the child's hand still had a red mark, as if it was tied tightly by a thread. Those haunted stories made the horror spread even more, like an invisible disease corroding reason. Not only that, every harvest season, when the whole village gathered in the fields, people often heard the sound of wedding music echoing from afar. The sound of drums, trumpets, laughter mixed with mournful cries. Once, a farmer ventured closer to the source of the sound. He returned with white hair after just one night, never saying another word. Those chilling scares were like a mark showing that anyone who dared to interfere with the curse would have to pay with their life or soul. In the creepy stories passed down by word of mouth, it is said that every time someone in the village gets married, the new bride will hear a knock on the door on her wedding night. If she opens it, she will see a girl in a white wedding dress, standing in the dark, holding a rotten bouquet of flowers, softly asking, "Have you seen my groom?" There was a young couple who was so terrified that they left the village that night, leaving the house empty and cold. Such horror stories turned Anna into a lifelong obsession. One night, it rained heavily, thunder boomed. The whole village was plunged into darkness because all the lights were off. In the middle of the night, the villagers heard the clanging of the wedding palanquin, the pounding of the wedding drums. The brave ones opened the door to look out and saw a ghostly wedding procession, vague in the rain, walking towards the ancient communal house. In the tattered white palanquin, Anna sat silently, her eyes shining like hot coals. That image was imprinted in the memories of the witnesses, making them never dare to open their mouths to tell it again. Those ghost stories passed down through generations make the ancient temple even more cursed. People once thought that if they could find the real reason for the groom's disappearance, perhaps Anna's soul would be freed. But through many generations, that mystery remains a void. Some people believe that the groom never existed, that it was all just a cruel trick. But there are also people who claim to have seen the shadow of a strange young man appearing next to the bride in their dreams. The truth is hidden in the darkness, leaving behind a series of chilling scares that people will never dare to forget. Every full moon night, a ghostly light covers the ancient temple. People close their doors tightly, holding their breath as they listen to the wedding music echoing from underground. And when the music stops, a soul in the village disappears without a trace. The question of the fate of those whose names were called in the night has never been answered. Perhaps that horrifying truth will only be revealed in the next part, when the ghosts gradually appear in the never-ending nightmare.